I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with a smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with a smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, just, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro? You are.
Stop, bro! Stop, bro, help me and stop!
Welcome to the Straight Red Card. You know, it's one thing for us to be making these references, Brett, but you think about the gal on that morning CBS show saying, and I know you want me to toss your salad.
She knew what she was doing.
She absolutely had to know what she was doing. She absolutely had to know because everyone else did. But anyhow. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Anthony says that he would be willing for that to happen to him.
She's hot. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of foggy footage. Hard to say. She doesn't look bad. We used to have this friend that used to be on our little soccer group that we used to do that all met at Sports Illustrated.
Poor choice of words there. A soccer group we used to do.
A soccer group we used to all be in, a discussion group. And every time anyone would post a photo of any girl, regardless of how attractive she was, he'd like, I'd do her.
Yeah.
I'd do her.
He was a connoisseur of that because eventually in pop culture it became wood. Everybody would just post wood. Not like wood, like wood. Yeah, wood. But WOULD.
Well, it's kind of like, all things have changed, Brett. So if somebody comes in, they're very young, they're 17, whatever, and they got a new haircut, okay? And they're like, hey, you like my haircut? Oh, no, that's not what they say. They say, would you fuck with this haircut? And I'm like, is that a bad thing or a good thing? What is he asking?
We should be saying is I'm not stepping into that trap.
I'm like, what does he mean? Would I fuck with this? Because in the old days, that would mean you'd make fun of it, right? You wouldn't fuck with it, right? You wouldn't fuck with his hairdo. You wouldn't make fun of him for his new hairdo or haircut. But now it means, would you fuck with this? Means, would you fuck with this hairdo? Because you mean, yeah, I would. That's a great hairdo.
Like I said, not a trap I'm stepping in.
I don't understand. Lots of things have changed. And that's one of them. Baddies used to mean the bad guys. Now it means some hottie. Right?
A girl boss, generally.
Yeah. The language is changing. And I'm glad I'm studying it as it changes in this newer generation. Because it's really interesting. It really is. Maybe not to everybody out there. By the way, speaking of research, you ever find like an older video from like the early 2000s of a baddie, a hottie, when you're doing your research and you're like, oh man, yeah, she was, wow. And then you go to a search engine, you're like, what other work did she do?
What the fuck happened to her? That's what usually happens.
And it's like, what the fuck happened to her?
She gained a third arm and
she's fat and ugly. And oh my God.
I didn't think you can get plastic surgery done on that. What the fuck?
Holy crap, what happened to her? Yeah, I mean, when you're
Alex
doing
and Yasmin bleed. What's up with Yasmin?
I haven't seen anything recent.
She hit the wall like badly.
But yeah, I mean, that happened to me this weekend. I was like, oh my God, what happened? So, and this was only in a short span of time. So we're talking like 2003. She's beautiful. 2006, she gets pregnant and has a baby. 2007, she's big and fat and ugly. were less attractive.
Well, I think Alex nailed it. Hold on.
Anyhow, it happens, but you know. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you know what? Brett and I were once extremely attractive men.
Once?
So
you playing it?
We were once very extremely attractive.
Oh no,
men.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I ever gave that up. That's my point.
I know, but you just don't know it yet. You have. Yeah, you've moved out of extremely, Brett. We're just mildly chubby, attractive dudes now to some very select few women. I think. I don't think
that's why you're failing, Derek.
Failing? I don't want to succeed.
Failing with that's what a failing with ladies would think.
I have no interest in succeeding anywhere. All right. Also, I have to say, worked on the new video, which is up on the Straight Red Card YouTube site, YouTube channel. And it's good. It's probably the best thing I've done. Well, I've only made 2 videos using AI so far, but I'm getting better at helping AI try to project what I want it to create. And this second one called Resign Yourself to Fear, I mean, I'm able to get the band in it, me singing in it at the age of 29 or whatever I was at the time. The images reflect the theme of the song, which is about some chick I met at a show who's talking about, I'm trying to find the right religion for me. And I'm like, the right religion for you? Yeah, I kind of like, you know, I'm trying out Hinduism this week, and next week I'm going to do some Buddhism. Then I'm going to go visit this church. And I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't like buying a shirt, babe. That's not how this works. You got to find it naturally. It's got to find you. You don't try on religion like if they're a bunch of shirts. You know, if you do that, if that's how you're going to operate, you're not going to find anything. You might as well resign yourself to fear, because it was all about her fear of death and finding the right religion to calm herself about death. I mean, come on.
You should reach back out to her and let her know that she should check out Dudism. That's the religion based off of the dude.
Isn't that just like mostly drinking and porn and sex?
Dudism is a religion, philosophy, and lifestyle inspired by the dude. Protagonist from the Coen Brothers, 1998, Big Lebowski.
I mean, we're dudes then, right? We follow Dudism. I'm just saying that's not the way to go about it, right? That's just not the way to go about finding.
That's just like your opinion, man.
Shut up, Brett. Shut up, dude. It's like your opinion, man. And now that's really good stuff. So anyhow, that's what the song's about. You can go find it on Straight Red Card. I haven't really put anything out for it yet because I just put another song out like last week. I made some joke on Twitter about is Brando the American Radiohead? And then with a smiley face or whatever at the end of it. I'm just joking. I don't think we are the American Radiohead, but I can't think of anybody else that's closer to Radiohead that is an American band than Brando, honestly. Than the band and what we did. Honestly, don't know if there was anything closer.
So it'd be pretty cool if your songs would stop stealing half of our revenue.
Oh yeah, the other one was a cover song. So that's gonna go to whomever owns that song. Like I said, I got to call Jorma and find out why his song that he wrote with Jeb is being stole by some dudes in Asia. And it's their money.
Latin America.
Like, how is that possible? How is his money that should be going to him going to some group in Latin America? Unless, the only thing I can think of is that Secretly Canadian, the old company that his music was under, his label was under, was bought by that company. That's all I can think of. Or they moved to Central America or wherever you're saying they're from. So, yeah. All right. What are we drinking today?
I'm drinking a vodka cran. Or was. It's almost done.
All right. Anthony, as usual, I am drinking a Three Philosophers. 9.7 alcohol by volume, a quad made right here in the USA in Cooperstown, New York. And it is one of the best American domestic Belgian style ales you will ever drink. It is a blend of a quad ale and Creek ale cherries. And it's fine. If this was a woman, you'd be extremely attracted to her. I'm just saying. All right, that's all I had, Brett, by the way. So you know I'm not going to go on and on and on.
You can take this one since your talk was the God talk.
I found God on the corner of First and Amistad. Okay. Well, there are all kinds of ways to do it, but one is not trying on religions every week like a fucking pair of jeans. A pair of new jeans.
What about liking crappy early 2000s music?
I mean, depending on what you're listening to.
The song's from The Fray.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
This is a good song, though. It's not a bad song, is it?
I'm not a big Fray guy.
I don't remember it. I'll be honest with you. I remember the song, and I remember the band. I don't remember. Like if you're asking me to remember what the song even close to sounds like, not in my head. Can't get it. Anyhow, yeah, scary, by the way, how good I'm getting at AI. I mean, it's pretty freaky. I talked to Jeb on my text the other day, and he's like, how are you getting this good at AI this fast? This is insane.
Like,
I'm like,
AI,
I don't know.
This is the production. I'm paying for this shit.
I do have to pay for it. Dude, this is $50 a month just to have like basic access and like a minimal amount of files that I'm allowed to create per month.
You better be getting all of your videos done in a month.
I'm not, no, because it's limited. I've already almost used up all my space, cloud space. I got to wait to June 9th to start over again with 40,000 whatever space of whatever. I don't know what it was. I didn't look. I didn't read it, but I've got to start all over now. Anyhow,
Jackie wants to know what you're using.
Artlist.io. Artlist.io. And don't worry, don't try to make anything nude. It won't let you. So if that's what you're looking for, that ain't happening. I was really odded out. I didn't even go full nude. I was looking for skimpy on a certain part of the video, right?
So,
somebody in a bathing suit, and they wouldn't even let me do that.
You're not actually doing you're not combining the audio with the visuals in that, are you? Or
no?
Are you adding them in a separate mix, if you will.
So I'm creating the video there, like a 10-second snippets. It's all like you can create. It's either 5 seconds or 10. There's no choice of making it any bigger. So then after you created the 10 seconds you had envisioned, you save it. And then you create the next 10 seconds you envisioned and you save it. And then so I'm basically creating 10-second scenes and then I'm chopping them together as they flow. Right. So that's what's going on. And yeah, we're nowhere near with AI going beyond 10 seconds. You're gonna have, if you want to make like a 2-minute long thing, you're gonna have to create a bunch of 10-second clips that all flow together. And then, and for me, I don't know how they're gonna flow together. I just know the scene. I listen to the song, I create the scene in my head. I'm like, this is the 10-second clip for this part. This is the 10-second clip for this part. And then you could be totally different scenes. In fact, of course, if you're doing a music video, you want the scenes to change every 5 to 10 seconds, right? Unless you're Radiohead, you can get away with a long clip cut for some of their songs, and they've done that before. But I haven't really. You're not going to be able to create a 2-minute AI generated scene. Not happening. It's not there yet. We're not there yet. All right, that's all I got, Brett. What do you got?
All right. Well, Colin wanted me to bring up a little video snippet of your conversation with him and the Neanderthals. And I want you, Derek, after we show this small little clip, I want you to go and do some research and come back and address it on Thursday. You got homework.
Okay. Sure.
I'm only going to do about 5 to 7 seconds here.
All right.
Neanderthals, for example, had larger brains. And in primates, larger brains usually goes along with more computational abilities, more ability to solve problems.
There you go.
Did I say
Neanderthals had bigger brains, ergo smarter?
We don't really know, but it could be. Could be. They were definitely developers of tools, art.
They had language, they had art, yeah. They were just a different version of hominoid or humanoid or whatever.
I never said they were dumb.
I think you said something along those lines.
No, I didn't.
Maybe paraphrasing you on this one.
I never said they were stupid.
In comparison to the Homo sapiens?
I don't know. I don't know. I am agnostic on that. I have no idea how intelligent the Neanderthals were, but what he might be saying is, based on the general science, that they should be smarter than us. But were they? I don't know. They must not have been. They didn't last. But that could be for other reasons. We don't know. We don't really know why the Neanderthals died off. Okay. But there is more recent research, and Colin and I had this discussion offline as well, that they're being researched now and dug into more deeply, that some of the Neanderthals, some of the Homo sapiens who met Neanderthals in the Middle East and then mated with them, then came back to Africa and may have mated with other Homo sapiens. So there might be some more, because the studies done so far are very small. So there really wasn't a whole lot of Neanderthal DNA coming up in African studies. Like if you lived in Africa, you had almost no Neanderthal DNA whatsoever. Lived in Europe, you had some. But now it seems like there may have been some areas of Africa that did have some Neanderthal DNA. We don't have the research yet, but we'll find out what happens.
And it could just be all part of the time period anyways, because if I recall correctly, I watched a couple of videos about it. But I think what Neanderthals required far more caloric intake. One, because they're up in the cold majority of the time. Mm-hmm. But two, it's just the way that they're built, the way they're bigger, stronger. They consumed more. So when you start going out of the ice age and the megafauna all end up passing for the most part, and all of a sudden you're used to hunting, the woolly mammoths and such. The mammals were bigger. They're no longer as big as they were, or extinct. Then their food source goes away. So eventually, at some point, I'd imagine they would eventually whittle away just from nutrition.
John says everyone has Neanderthal genes. That is not something that's been proven at all, John. I've been reading up on this for years, and no, not everybody has Neanderthal genes yet that we can at least trace. And I mean, the studies have done pretty extensively. So
according to AI, yes, the vast majority of people who do not have African ancestry have some Neanderthal DNA, approximately 1 to 4%.
So the research is ongoing. So Colin and I will keep talking about it. He'll keep sending me articles. I'll keep reading them, and we'll just keep updating as we go along. Although this is not a science show. Just to be clear, it's not a science show.
You bring up philosophy and, why are we really here, man, all the time.
Not for a while, though.
We bring up your nightly studies, We bring up music.
No, we do.
We're a hodgepodge of everything, with maybe about an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours worth of soccer-related topics.
What I am saying is that whole subject could be an hour-long show on its own if we really got deep into it, and I don't want to do that. So we're keeping it 5 minutes.
We'll keep randomly plugging it in there.
Yeah,
it'll come up again, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, I have no intent on actually playing the audio for this, so.
What happened?
I saw this. You sent it my way too, but I saw it as well because I want Grant to put our faces on the two that get knocked here.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Bam bam.
Boom. I mean, it'd be perfect, right?
We're probably gonna have some San Francisco company steal our monetization
for that. It'll get clipped later, guys. Don't worry.
Yep, absolutely they will. Yep. But
all right, what we got going on next?
We need more of that happening in soccer.
Yeah. All right.
For
so you guys been
mechanical
National Team Rev. Oh, what? Oh,
I was reading it. My London to Charlotte flight got canceled day of for mechanical issues, and I have a 4-leg airport journey. Even the gate agent was sad for me. Dude, I've had to do that. It sucks, but it happens. Do the ladies have to draw you a map to the clit? Despite the rumors that apparently exist. I think you might be thinking of the G zone, Brett. The clit exists.
It's a joke, yes.
The G zone, we're not so sure about.
G spot.
G zone.
That sounds like some kind of sporting podcast. It's the G zone.
I mean, I'm sure the G spot exists. I just think you're really doing a good job with the CLT, right?
Colin says, "Is Charlotte a real place?"
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Apparently, ladies will map it up for you too.
Yep. When I go on Google Maps, it's there, and I can walk around the city.
The spot is a club in Guam.
It's probably true. It's probably true. That's why it's hard to find.
All right, we start.
All right. Have you noticed Eric and Lawless going at each other on Twitter lately?
They tend to poke and question every now and then. But yeah, recently, like what was it? What is our core value or something like that? I think Lawless asked recently. But yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. I hope they get in a big scrum. By the way, I hope that'd be
for
so
an interesting
fun.
Podcast, right?
And then we could have them both on at the same time. Wouldn't it be great to have them both on when they're mad at each other? Well, Lawless won't be mad. Eric might be mad, but I don't think Lawless ever gets mad. I don't think Alexi's capable of getting angry about a comment that somebody says about him.
I got an Alexi Lawless comment later on, so we'll get to that in just a second.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so apparently Ruben's been talking about his 14-hour days at Manchester United's training ground in recent weeks. His days are apparently starting at 7 a.m.
Well, it's not so much how long you work, it's what you get done, buddy.
Yeah. And then Eric says, big difference between working hard because you love the work or working hard because you have to. So, yeah, obviously a 14-hour day, working at Manchester United might be something you have to do. Unfortunately, it's not something you love to do.
No, but yeah, your team's not good. So yeah, you gotta do it. So
I've seen these TikToks before. How many smoothie breaks, yoga classes, meal breaks, and happy hours in a 14-hour day?
Probably a lot.
The day in the life of a Twitter employee. And they stop, I wake up at 10 o'clock. I go and get a smoothie at the smoothie bar at the bottom floor of Twitter.
I start working at noon. But just as I start working at noon, I got to go to lunch.
I take one meeting, 15-minute meeting, and then I go to yoga class.
Yeah.
It's God. Seriously.
Really? Is that where we're at?
And they were shocked. They're shocked. They're shocked when 80% of the workforce got laid off whenever Elon bought it. What do? I saw your Twitter. I saw your TikToks. Get out of here. Get out of here.
You're out. Okay.
All right. So, despite rumors, I'm human. I don't like mean things said to me, but it rarely bothers me. I've made my bed, and it comes with the territory. I've been around and developed a pretty thick skin. I believe in a country where you have the freedom to say mean things to me. Bring it.
I like that about him. We don't agree with him on everything. Doesn't matter. He's never got that upset about it.
Yeah.
I got to give him credit for that. In fact, when I had my first call with him before he came on the show, I listed all the things that I publicly said about him. He's like, it's no big deal. No, don't worry about that one. Oh, yeah.
You do an advanced search for your name and Lawless.
I just was really honest.
I called you a raging moron.
I just had to be really honest with him. That's all. So
I said, I followed up with saying, look, I've apologized for my comments on your baked ziti. You used too little sauce and it was dry. You need to get over it. No. This has been my day. It's been my day. Those 3 tweets right there, just me dipping my toe back into Twitter. because I took a hiatus this weekend. I had multiple games, and I was everywhere. You know, I had to do yard work. I had to catch up on that because I got to take Chuck to gymnastics on Monday. I got soccer on Tuesday, soccer on Wednesday, and then we pick up a game. We pick up a practice on Friday. Plus, I've got podcast Monday and Thursday. I don't have time to mow the lawn and do shit outside during the week.
Not to mention Saturday pegging sessions, 3 hours long.
Exactly. We try to push it later in the evening so that way I'm not wasting daylight.
No, the kids are asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want them to walk in on that.
You're horrific.
Daddy, what is mommy doing to you? Brett and I talk about this, by the way, off the show. The fact that they aren't real, but we keep pushing it, it's hilarious. All right. Yeah.
That's well, like I said, you know, if somebody goes, dude, if you made a comment like they're meeting you halfway for a reach around, if somebody really believes that, then why do I care?
Yeah, I can't wait till we go to Columbus because the plan is we're going to go to Columbus, right? For the
that's the plan. Yeah.
So we plan to be at
Japan.
Who?
Japan.
Oh, Japan. Yeah, so we are planning currently to be at the Japan game live, and we will come to the get. Don't. If you really believe those things are true about us, then it's be a little weird, but it's not true. But, you know, it's not fun if we say that. So we're just going to pretend it is true and keep going with it. But, yeah, we're hoping to meet some of you in Columbus when we go to the game. We're still working on it. But, yeah, that's our goal is to be at the game live in Japan versus Japan in Columbus.
All right. So we had these conversations beforehand about USL getting their D1 status, and we're like, where are all the teams coming from that are going to be meeting all the criteria and stuff like that? Well, apparently, what is this? Patterson, New Jersey. I've never heard of Patterson before, but New Jersey Pro Soccer, it's coming. Men's and women's teams. It's a $110 million restoration project.
Isn't that just outside of the biggest city in New Jersey?
It might be a suburb.
I think it's just a suburb.
Patterson, New Jersey.
I think I've driven through Patterson before as a child.
It's part of Newark. It's right. Yeah. It's just north of Newark.
So are they going to call the team Newark or Patterson, you think?
Ooh, great question. I imagine it's going to be Patterson since it's, it says New Jersey Pro Soccer, so I don't know actually.
Oh, then it might just be a New Jersey team in Newark.
Yeah, I'll just say, would you just call yourself New Jersey United Soccer Club, Football Club, Sporting?
I hope not.
I mean, you'd have to go with New Jersey. Why would you possibly say, oh, it's Patterson?
How about we just come up, like, why are the women so good at coming up with better names for their teams? Like the Thorns. That's a fucking great name for a team. I'm sorry, it is. It's unique. Nobody's done it. Thorns. Like, why can't the men do this? I think in the 11's at least original. Like,
yeah,
but
it's a shame that people who don't understand what it is think it's the dumbed down version of what it is.
I know. Madison forward fucking what?
Yeah,
forward to where? Like, forward's not always the right move. Sometimes you need to retreat and regather and then fight back. All right, whatever. Forward? That's all right. Sorry.
You're either first or last, Derek.
I feel like I'm busting on our buddy who helped us create any 11. I kind of feel bad about that when I do that, but he helped create that too.
Oh, fair enough.
What's his name? Peter. Well, God damn, I must be becoming dumb. I can't even remember Peter Wilk's name. We only had to live with him for practically 2 years, 3 years. I mean, we're crying out loud.
All right, so the forward in Madison, it's derived from the state motto of Wisconsin, forward.
Well, that's a dumb name. Forward to what?
I don't know. I'm not from Wisconsin. I don't know that shit.
But wasn't Peter Wilt the guy that came up with the name for the team?
Yeah,
Pretty
he probably found something that's state related, just like Indy 11 was.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Although he did not come up with the Victory Tower. We already had that.
Yep.
Nor the design, not the colors, but certainly what the uniforms design-wise would already look like for Indy 11.
Checker flags.
They just made it blue instead of green. They stole all of our ideas and gave us no credit and paid us no money.
Yeah.
For all those ideas. We should have got paid for all of those ideas.
And now the people running it don't even know our names.
Well, yeah, they do. I'm in contact with David still.
That's fair. Yeah.
And Ursel. So, and the CEO of Indy Soccer.
I'm referring to the BYB, what we created.
Well, no, the president of BYB knows.
I know. I heard you. Yeah.
And the board members know who we are, but like the regular fans have no fucking clue. Right. Right. They have no clue.
I'm sorry. Who you be?
Mm-hmm. Oh, we could go and there'd be like 3 people who would recognize us and come over and say hi to us.
I maybe recognize you more so than me, but simply because you were kind of the face.
That's true.
So
I guess. Yeah. All right. What else we got? Just want to say thanks to the 158 of you here right now. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother. Lean over, give your stepsister a kiss, and call your grandma and make sure she knows the show's on. Because your grandma loves this show.
Of course.
But she's forgetful.
Science.
Blinded me with science. Beep, boop, boop, boop. All right, what do we got here? MLS haters.
Always halftime.
MLS haters in the U.S. men's national team fan base are the worst. You want a strong national team? Guess what? You need a strong domestic league. Stop crying about it and start supporting it. Okay, this is the problem with these sort of generalizations, because that's just not true. Belgium's domestic league sucks. Holland's, for the most part, outside of 4 teams, sucks. Argentina, okay, not that much better than MLS. It's better, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of iffy. So I don't think you necessarily need, what you need is great youth development. That's what you need. Not a strong domestic. Maybe that's a part of what makes the domestic league strong, is you got a lot of 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds playing in it. So if you think that also makes a strong domestic league, then fine. But it's not necessarily the same thing.
You know, you need a competent league, domestic league.
You need a competent league.
And at that point, you said it perfectly, and other people brought this up as well. You need a pipeline of youth development.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how much money we flood into MLS. If our region is Garbo, and aside from Mexico, and then maybe a team or two from Honduras and Costa Rica or whatever, we have no competition outside of MLS.
Right.
So we're not going to compete with Europe. We can compete with some of Europe, but we don't want our players to go to some of Europe. We want them to go to the top of Europe.
Austria is a shit league. Switzerland, pretty mediocre league, but they're developing players, young players, all over Europe, not just in Switzerland, but everywhere, and in Europe. Mm-hmm. So you just need some good youth development. So by the time they're 14, 13 years old, some German team goes, that Swiss kid can play. We're bringing him to Frankfurt, or we're bringing him to Leverkusen. That's what you need.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, we need MLS. We need whatever our domestic league is going to be competent and know what they're doing as far as development is concerned, and not address themselves as if they're going to be competing with the big boys of soccer. And that's not a
condemnation.
Whatever when you think so little of yourself or whatever. It's small man syndrome or whatever, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that. Can't think of the actual
small dick syndrome.
Yeah, maybe. But no, you have to be able to pump out good, solid, produced players. and they've got you as a league. If the league is working with the national team, which they're not, the league's working for the league. Then they would be producing these talents and then looking to shop them out or accepting bids when it's a reasonable bid. Instead of saying, I want $8 million for this guy. Well, we only are going to offer $2 million. No, not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Holland long time ago gave up on being, a league that is going to be able to compete every year in Champions League. They're a selling league. They sell. That's what they do. Even Germany's a selling league. Everyone's a selling league except for Spain and England. Everybody else is a selling to some extent. Italy
or
a buying league.
Or is it for the most part that aside from a handful of players from England, none of the other leagues are really that interested in overinflated priced player?
Exactly. Yeah, that's part of it too. That's why AC Milan bought Pulisic, right? He was a discount buy when they got him. So, yeah, most leagues, except for maybe the top two, and then we're only talking about the top. All right. In Germany, it's Bayern. In Italy, it's Juventus, AC Milan. They buy. Inter buys. I'm not going to name them all. You go to Ajax, buys. In Spain, Barcelona, Madrid buy, Atletico Madrid buys. They're teams they buy. There are not a lot of teams out there who can afford to spend the kind of money that makes them what I would call them a buying team. They're looking for discounts. They're looking for players up and coming players, young players. So a lot of leagues know that they are selling. Norwich knows they're going to have to sell Sargent. They know it. All the fans know it. He's leaving. He's going to be bought. So unless you're the tippity top of anything, you are a selling league or team.
Well, even mid-table and below EPL realize that they're going to be selling. I mean, their top players are just going to be poached before one way or another. Now, mind you, they're going to get solid money for it. But I mean, if you're a mid-table team, I mean, you're bound to lose your top players.
I mean, Dortmund's the second best team traditionally for years in Germany. They're a selling team. They bring in young players, they develop, they sell them.
Not of recent, and they've fallen off since.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
They went against their grain, and they're hurting for it.
Yep, have gone too old. Yep. All right,
not how you guys are built. Yes, not how you're
everybody's
built.
Selling. Unless you're one of the big boys, you're selling.
Yeah,
and you're trying to get discounts.
So, Derek, this past weekend was rivalry week in MLS.
Oh, please.
Who'd your team play?
LAFC. We tied.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Yeah, dude, but what? We needed all three. 1 point ain't going to cut it at this point. We need to start winning games.
Yeah. Who's Chicago rival?
Do they have one?
It's Charlotte, apparently.
Clit is your rival?
The longest surviving rivalry in MLS is clearly Chicago Fire versus Charlotte.
Yeah, right. Sure. I
would have accepted Columbus in that answer. I would have selected New England. Hell,
New England,
I would have taken St. Louis. At least there's a city rivalry. It's hard to make a rivalry with a team that's only been in existence for a couple of years now. But at least there's a city rivalry there.
Let me get it on Colorado. DC United.
I don't get the rivalry between Colorado.
I'm just saying any of the old school clubs have been around as long as Chicago has.
FC Dallas and Chicago had the Burn Cup.
Yep.
Or whatever it was called.
Anyhow, they're just continue to. This is what a league that is out of touch does. They create fake rivalries that don't really exist, and just if they are rivalries, you don't need to say it. They will be. You don't need to have rivalry week. How stupid is that?
Well,
that's trying to push a narrative. Just get off the narrative fucking bandwagons, you morons, and let this shit happen authentically, naturally.
If there is going to be a rivalry week, then make it a rivalry week. It can't just be, the rivalries are between New York and New York. Clearly, you have the Ohio rivalry, and I forgot what the hell that was called. What is that? Columbus versus Cincy called that rivalry? Another goofy fucking name. So we got Texas. Ooh, Austin and versus Whitecaps. There's a major rivalry right there.
I just cannot think of an organization less authentic than MLS. Less authentic. They're all about, they overthink everything marketing wise. They absolutely overthink everything. Instead of letting it be. Paul McCartney wrote a song called Let It Be. Let it be. Let it grow organically. Do not force feed people rivalries that don't exist. They can see through your bullshit and they're going to call you out for it. Or if they're not, then they're just already on board or whatever. And they're MLS guys through and through. But as somebody who has an MLS team and somebody who doesn't have a dog in any fight, I just see that, and somebody who's been involved in marketing for a long time, I see that as just fake ass shit. Fake ass shit. All I got to say.
The rivalry between Columbus and Cincinnati is the hell is real rivalry.
I guess.
That makes sense if you live in Ohio.
Let the fans create it. I think they did create that one.
I think they created that. Yes, 100%.
Let them carry the banner for it. You don't need to whip out your dick and say, I'm all in for this. I'm so excited for Hell is Real. We're gonna boost that. I'm gonna lube up and make that even slipperier and easier to consume. Right? No, don't do that. Let it do itself. Stay out of the way. Don't let your fake ass bullshit at the fucking corporate offices get in the way of a real thing that's building. Let it build itself. Stay the fuck out of the way and take your fake ass somewhere down the road into a bar and just have a few drinks and stay quiet. Get out of the way. All right. Sorry.
Now, the good news is the Charlotte and Chicago rivalry ended very favorably for us. We beat them 4-1. Woot and Gutierrez, 2 goals and 1 assist.
Probably why he made the 60.
Probably it's a solid fucking match for him. Let's put it that way.
Well, on top of the whole season's been pretty good. So
he's been pretty solid for us. I agree.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The LA Galaxy started the season winless in 13 games, earning only 3 points, and sit at the bottom of a 30-team league. Yet they gave their manager a contract extension. Are you excited about this?
MLS moves. We have him on the show. We've had him on. We like him.
Okay. There we go.
All right. He's a good guy. I really like him a lot. All I'm saying is, why should the manager be punished for the fact that they won the fucking league last year, MLS Cup, and they also had to sell all their best players, and then their very best players injured. They had to sell off Delgado. Listen, I'm not going to get into lists, but that had nothing to do with him. The manager had nothing to do with the fact that they had to suddenly start selling everybody on their team.
So, I was going to respond to somebody had posted. There's a clip of your guys' sporting director or something like that was talking about it, how the guy that ended up going to Sporting Kansas City. What was his name? He was like he scored like 20 goals for you last year.
Oh yeah. Yep. And then the guy that we sold to fucking Mexico. Yeah.
So he hit 26. So he was no longer hit that U22 initiative contract.
That's the guy. But he's now playing in Mexico. Liga MX.
He's at Sporting Kansas City, man.
Pretty sure he got sold from them to Liga MX.
I don't care. That's not my point, though. Obviously, my point is that he wanted to stay in LA. LA couldn't pay for him because any form of increase, he'd have to go above $500,000 on the cap, and they couldn't afford that because they already have 3 DPs. Now, they bought 2 of their DPs last season. So if this guy was doing so well, shouldn't they have thought about this ahead of time before buying the first or second extra DP and just go ahead and sign him to a contract?
It's more complex than that with Gam and Tam. So, yeah, you can try to plan ahead, but of course, what you're trying to, as they did last season, you're trying to set up a system and move all the money around so you can afford the team that can win the league, which is what they did. But they knew right after that they were going to have to talk him, Jovic, I think it is, into taking less money. But with the offers coming, no way could they do that. They want to, but you're going to tell Marky Delgado to take a pay cut? No, he's not going to take a pay cut. He's going to take a pay raise and move to LAFC.
And I'll say one thing about your guys' again sporting director who said that when the clip I saw, he wasn't bitching and complaining of the fact that they had to do that in the sense that, oh, woe is me. He was just saying, hey, we need MLS. There's most of the owners out there are down for this, but they need to open up floodgates as far as their salary cap.
Yes,
they need to increase the investment at this point.
Yes,
because it sucks to have built this good of a team, and then all of a sudden after one season, X, Y, and Z happens, and now you guys are experiencing a lull, a decrease. But then again, you guys can still pull it forward and pull it through and make the playoffs.
No, this team's just not the same. Not until what's his face gets back from injury.
Marco?
No, Royce is back. He scored 2 goals.
Okay, I thought last night in that interview he mentioned how he was injured. So
no, the best player of the team, for Christ's sake. Oh, I forget Puig.
Oh yeah.
So until he comes back, we're kind of screwed because the rest of the guys cannot carry that large pail of water. So, all right, for the 190 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with Grandma. It may be soft. Ooh, what's he talking about? But you cannot take the risk in the VAR area. Santiago Jimenez gets. Oh my God, that was the most ridiculous red card I've ever seen.
So here he is.
It's not a red card.
I can barely do it at all. He gets pulled a little bit, and then Kerplivy elbowed him. But yeah, I mean, he simulated.
Yes, he totally simulated. Yep.
But then again, what happened after that though? Santi realized it, and he went down. Oh no, my face! Oh,
that's clown.
Ow.
Yeah, clown show shit.
He's like, oh shit, dude! I just threw an elbow. I better fake an injury too. So, I would have given Santi the red for simulation here. You threw the elbow, plus you're a bitch.
They both should have got reds for simulation, frankly, because that elbow was not hard. It's not like he did not rip the elbow back. He just kind of moved his elbow back. And it did tap the guy on the face. I mean, this is Gaylord area here, right?
And I'm gonna bring up a women's soccer topic up here in a second, but this is definitely a talking point. They win out handedly. Is the guys' game as physical as it is? We've got so many prima donnas, and they're just flopping and aching, like, I've been shot, Whereas you see the women's game, they go in on these tackles, and it's hard. They get pegged.
Yeah.
But they take the hits, and if they're down, they're really down. I don't really see much simulation in the women's game at this point.
They're getting pegged.
Yeah.
All right.
So
yeah.
I'll say this is my big gripe with the men's game is just the bitchery of it all. Just trying to draw that PK, trying to draw that foul, trying to get this guy a red card because he touched your shoulder. What a bunch of bitches.
And no offense to him, but this is totally Gaylord Perry. That's all this is.
It's bitch made.
Yeah.
It's totes bitch made.
It's bitch ball. Yep. Total pussy shit. No offense.
So I mentioned the women's national team, or at least the women's game, at least here. And I can tell you. First off, they're displaying the awesome kits we have yet to talk about. Derek, yay or nay?
I love them.
I'm not a fan of this one right here.
Really? I really like this one.
I don't like the pinstripe, and if I had to buy one, I'm getting the white one. And I'm not even a big fan of the white one, quite frankly.
I like it. I do.
It's a little bit different. It's for me, I mean, it's a much better one than what I'm going to bring up here, but it reminds me of the 07 Copa pinstripes. This is much better than that, by the way. But maybe I got a foul taste in my mouth from that one or whatever. I'm just not a big fan of the pinstripes.
They kind of give me a Venezia feel.
That's fine.
Different colors though than Venezia. I love the Venezia colors, but you're gonna have those colors in these pinstripes, right? I'm just a fan of pinstripes, so I like it. I'm all right with it.
Sorry, I'm doing two things once here. So they're talking about the kits here, and this person says the U.S. women's national team having 4 stars and the men's having none will never not be funny to me.
What?
Talking about the stars above the crest. The fact that they have 4 World Cups won, we have none.
Oh, get over it.
It's comments like this that just push me away from the women's game. I haven't followed the women's game because
don't let Amelia do that to you.
No, well, it's not just that. It's been a decade running at this point of just bullshit like this.
No, those players are gone. Those players are gone.
It doesn't matter. It's starting to pull me back. But then again, it's just stuff like this. I'm just like, I don't have time for this.
Nah, these
I don't have time at all, guys.
These new gals are great. They're all great. I love them.
No, the players, yeah, sure. And that's what was pulling me back at first. So I don't know.
Let it suck you back in. Like a giant twat vacuum.
There you go. Boomer's right. It's hard to fall back in love.
Well, I just go check out some of the players. They're great gals.
Oh, no. I've watched a number of the games.
Yep.
Since World Cup. Nobody's
asking anybody to fall back in love, though. Just in like. Just become friends again. That's all.
Just say, aside from addressing certain takes of the women's game, I don't see it the other way. I don't necessarily see guys poking all the time like this.
Yeah, Wooksy says I hate hearing about the lesbian national team. I wouldn't care if they were all lesbians, frankly.
You do you. It's your own personal thing. Yeah, I
don't
care.
Doesn't bother me.
Whoever you love, it's beyond. It's not my concern.
I have to tell you, don't put all lesbians in the same box politically as the way, or as
nice, Derek. That was a good one.
Yeah, or exactly. But I'll be here all week. But also, they're not all the same. Like, they don't all want to be the center of attention, right? I think, first of all, that's not true. There are married women. There are numerous married women and women with relationships. That shouldn't matter, really. It shouldn't matter that there are non-gay women on the team. They could all be gay. You should still be able to support them. The question is, are those characters? It's about the character more than anything else. Do they need to be the center of attention? Is everything about them? Those are the kind of players I can't stand, right? I don't want those. I want players that are about the team first, not themselves, not commercials, because they want to do commercials. I don't want those players anymore. And, players, if that's their big focus, that it's all about me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I don't want those players. So, as I said, they could all be gay. As far as I'm concerned, they could all be lesbians. It wouldn't matter to me as long as they had the right attitude and they were focused on the team. That's it. That's it.
Yep. All right. Jumping on to the men's game now. A little soapbox I got off of it now.
And by the way, they're not all lesbians. All right. Go ahead.
And again, if they are, who cares?
And I don't care. Yeah, I don't care either way. You do you. We always say that on the show.
Derek's like, that's 40% of my research right there.
Hell yeah, Futas, baby. Wait, that's a whole different thing. Food
A whole different thing, yeah.
and that's foodies are women with penises, right? Pretty sure that's what that research bore out.
I'm not going to Google that right now.
No, I don't want you to. We might crash.
You should be researching the fupas, right?
What?
Bad upper pussy area.
No, I'm not doing that. That's just weird.
All right.
All right. What do we got here?
This is when Klinsmann was talking with the Golazo team.
Oh, can we, before we play this?
Sure.
If you want to bring on somebody to critique Pochettino, you don't bring on Jurgen Klinsmann. His son is competing for a goalkeeper spot on the fucking 60-man roster. You think he's going to say a single critical thing about Pochettino? He's not going to have a single not one critical thing to say about Pochettino. And guess what? For the hour he was on the show or whatever it was, he didn't have a single critical thing to say about Pochettino. Bring on somebody like, Bruce. Bring on,
yeah.
How about Bob Bradley? He'll be honest.
From Bobby in a while, yeah.
Because Bob refuses to do shows like this. He refuses. He doesn't want to do them.
Yeah, I guess you really don't need the press. What do you accomplish by doing this? He doesn't necessarily want to be in the limelight at that point.
Bob would be better at it than Bruce.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Bob would be an amazing analyst. And I am shocked that he has not been hired, outside of the fact that he hasn't given up on coaching in Europe.
But
still.
Also on top of that, though, is it possible that nobody's really picked him up as a potential analyst or even just a bid analyst at that point because of the bridges may have been burned between him and U.S. Men's National or U.S. Soccer? I mean,
it could be.
We talked. Herc brought it up where Berhalter wouldn't come on their show, or if they're going to come on like an ESPN show, they'd be like, well, anybody can interview him except for Gomez.
Herc. Yeah. Well, it could be. Bob Bradley has burned a lot of bridges.
Rightfully so.
We had our friend Ruben was at a public party with him.
I haven't talked to Ruben in a long time.
I know, where he stood up and said, I've been betrayed. Essentially, I'm just summing it up, word for word, and I'll never work for the U.S. Soccer again. I don't care. They get down on their knees and suck my cock. I'm not ever working for them. They betrayed me. So, yeah, you say those kind of things. It does get around back to U.S. Soccer. He's probably not well thought of there anymore. But, I mean, the staff has changed since then, except for a handful of people. A lot of staff has changed. So maybe those days are over. Maybe we can look at Bob Bradley in the positive way that all of us used to look at him. But he would be a hell of an analyst. And he would be the guy you want to come on this show because he'd be honest. Bob Bradley does not mess around. He does not have a politically correct button. And he doesn't have a son competing for a spot on the team like Jurgen Klinsmann, who's going to say absolutely dick nothing about Pochettino. Anyhow, go ahead. For the 215 of you here a moment ago, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. Subscribe. Hit the button. Just hit it. Hit it. Hit the like button. It helps us. We need the help. We got fucking record labels stealing our money as we speak. All right, go ahead.
Real quick, John goes, the more Donovan talks, the more I understand Klinsmann's decision to leave him off the World Cup squad.
Okay, that's fair, but it's not about Donovan's talking, it's about his playing. And he was still, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best players on our team. Derek's mom gossip was used to ban Chandler.
Way to go, Derek.
I don't think it was, but Chandler was pretty, back in whatever year that was, pretty honest off tape.
I was gonna say, you better continue that sentence. Chandler was pretty. In what universe?
No, he's not pretty. But off tape, off the recording, we had my mom talk to him. for probably a good 10, 15 minutes with him and his agent one-on-one before Brian got there. And yeah, he did not like flying. Or maybe it was after. Otherwise, he did not like flying. Like, one of his things that he hated the most was that he had to fly to all these Central American countries and the plane would get turbulence and shit. And he was really nervous about flying. He hated it. He absolutely hated that. And he made that
God
pretty
intended
clear.
us for us to fly. He'd give us wings, right?
I don't like flying anymore either. There you go. All right.
Yeah, I hate driving, so I'll fly.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just go to the Noblesville Airport, which has a grass strip, and jump into a little propeller plane and fly to Columbus, I would.
Hell no, we're not doing that. We're driving. I'm not getting in any goddamn little tiny propeller plane with you and your friend.
Woo, let's go. All right, here we go.
Who could definitely afford a charter like that, by the way.
All right.
You left Landon Donovan off of the 2014 World Cup team. Do you have any regrets about leaving someone of his quality off of the team 11 years later?
No, I don't have any regrets, even if it really, really was a very tough decision,
Even if? It's a weird way of saying that.
It is, because
even if it was a tough decision.
I think I'm just translating for him because he's German.
I know what he means.
I think he's saying it was a tough decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially given that it was a tough decision.
But it really wasn't. I mean, it was and it wasn't. He was happy to get rid of him.
Tough moment, because he's such a outstanding individual, and obviously whatever he reached until that point has been unbelievable for an American player, and he was our poster boy for so many years. But the decision was very, very simple. There were other players on that roster in his spot that were better than him.
Bullshit. No, there weren't. You're telling me Chris Wondolowski's a better striker. You're telling me Julian Green's a better winger. You're telling me that what's his fuck is a better midfielder, and he could have played any of those spots. So fuck that.
Yeah.
To this day, Jurgen Klinsmann's just full of shit about this. I'm sorry, he is, and his son proved it by tweeting out the same fucking day that this was announced. Ha ha ha! Landon Donovan didn't make the team. This was fucking personal.
And
personal.
Well, I mean, and given that Josie went lame 10 minutes into the first match.
Yes.
Who took Josie's place?
Dempsey did. Yes, Clint.
And then who didn't come in except for a bit minutes in the last match?
Green and Wando.
Yeah. So I don't know if Clint has to go and take a striker role because the other striker that you have, you're not confident in putting him in when your first striker goes injured. I would much rather have a true and out winger as a backup, especially one that has a history with the national team.
Yeah. I want to be clear. I really like Jurgen Klinsmann, by the way. I like him as a person. Jurgen Klinsmann. As a person, I like him a lot. As a manager, not so much. But that's my I just think he's lying. I think there was something personal. And the reason we know
forgot Bacon.
Bacon was there too. Yeah. We know it was personal because obviously he and his son had a conversation about his dislike or whatever of Landon Donovan at the dinner table. Because the whole family thought it was fucking hilarious when Landon Donovan didn't make the team. What other reason would Jonathan Klinsmann taunt Landon Donovan for not making the team on Twitter after he didn't make the team? He knew something behind the scenes that other people didn't. It's easy to read into. That's like, okay, Brett, let's just pretend for a second we had a falling out. Yeah. And I was looking for a new co-host. And it was announced on Twitter that Pete was my new co-host. And some motherfucker in my family let's say Chris, my stepson, tweeted out, "Ha ha, fuck you, Brett." Wouldn't you think I had talked to Chris about how I didn't like you anymore and I didn't want you to be the co-host anymore, and I went behind your back and cut you and replaced you with Pete? Yes, that's exactly what you would think was that tweet would mean. And that's what happened here. And by the way, that's never happening. No way,
goes,
Pete.
You two do makeup sex. Brett is the top. Problem solved.
I'm not really good taking it, so I don't know about that.
Derek, I'm going to ask, and I had to look it up because I was like, wait a second. What is this subscription I've got over here? Gentleman Caller.
Gentleman Caller is, so Kenny Childers was in my band for 10 years. He's a guitarist. He had his own band called Gentleman Caller, which I also played in. I played keyboard in that band and sang backup vocals in that band for about 5 years. So Kenny and I are inexorably connected for here until the end of time.
I'm looking at that going like, shit, what the hell did Jackson subscribe me to? Gentleman Caller.
Gentleman Caller is a band.
Yep. Okay.
A very good one, too. Yeah. I particularly like the first 3 albums because I was involved in all 3.
Wuxia says, if Wando doesn't miss that shot against Belgium, tough shot, by the way, a volley from the tough angle. Oh, let me address that. But that was a Wando special.
Yes,
like,
he usually did hit those.
If I had to pick somebody on that national team to take that shot, it would have been Wando because that's what he puts away week in, week out. That was his bread and butter.
Yep.
I'm not saying that he missed it, but if he didn't miss it, he would have been a national hero and U.S. men's national team Mount Rushmore player.
Well, I don't know about that, but
he wouldn't have been on Mount Rushmore, but
he
definitely would have been looked at with a lot more grace, and more people wouldn't have been questioning his call up at that point.
For that day, he would have been smothered in hugs. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, God, they'd be taking us to the quarters at that point.
Yeah, people would have forgot it if we lost in the quarters.
Yeah, that's right. Donovan wasn't brought in because we brought in Wando, who got us to the quarters. Woo! That's what it would have been.
So, yeah. I mean, we've documented this for years now, the whole Klinsmann story. We keep having to retell it because people are bringing it up. And
there's new people to it, and they haven't heard us or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Larry for $2 says Klinsmann never allowed to play a real backline. Bessel sucks. Bessler.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we were hammered all game long without the help of Timmy. We would have lost that game by a lot more. But Tim Howard put up an amazing performance to keep us in that game. But fact of the matter is that Davies got to play that game. Green got to play in that World Cup. Wando got to play in the World Cup, and Landon Donovan didn't. Yeah, so, yeah. And it was personal. It was personal. Do not kid yourself.
We're going to find out how unpersonal it is real quick.
Him in that moment in time. We forget sometimes that 2 years prior to the World Cup, he took a year off. Then he came back and then he played for the Galaxy, not scoring anymore, not providing assists anymore.
Okay, but he went to the Gold
Cup. Yeah,
he played for the Gold Cup and was the player of the tournament, you fuckface. After that, not a full year, by the way. That's an exaggeration. It was like 8 months off. As far as I can remember. 8 months.
Okay. I would have rounded up too, though.
Of course, he's rounding up on purpose.
I wouldn't have said a full year. I would have said he took a year off. Because I would have rounded up at that point. I mean, why would I care? I would really have to remember, was it 8 months, 8 or 9 months?
He didn't even take a full season off, dude. He left Everton, didn't play the first, I don't know if I'm probably going to misremember this, but he missed the first 60 to 70% of the LA Galaxy season, came back, didn't score a lot or provide assists. Yes, he was a little stale, but then came and played in the Gold Cup for us and was the player of the tournament. So fuck that. I don't want to hear that shit.
But badly he wanted to go to the World Cup because it would have been his 4th World Cup. And I totally
That's
understand
not why he
all the
wanted to go,
motivation.
fucker. If he didn't want to go to the World Cup because it would be his 4th. He wanted to go to the World Cup because he was passionate about the fucking U.S. men's national team and U.S. soccer and USA. That's why he wanted to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't want to set a record. That's not why Beasley got that record, by the way. But most World Cups by a player.
Well earned, too.
Yes.
And a lot of people also forgot that I took Landon to Bayern Munich.
Oh,
gave him a chance
yes,
at
he
one of
did. And he did not like the result, did he? The fucking local press chewed his ass out for even bringing Landon Donovan. And then when Landon Donovan failed at Bayern, boy, they let him have that too. And then he was fired from Bayern not long after that.
And I'm going off of 10-year memory of this at this point. Of actually more than that, quite frankly. But I recall there were games that were like big nothing burger games, but there were also games where he played well. I mean, it's not like he was a complete fish out of water. It wasn't like he brought in like some USL chud, you know.
So he couldn't finish. That was the problem.
That was a big issue.
All right. This is I'm trying to say all this without revealing anything. So that happened at Bayern. I think Klinsmann felt that he had been Donovan's best ally and been a super advocate for him, right? And then as qualifying happened, as before we got to the Costa Rica game, the snow game, that article came out from Brian Strauss. That article hammered Klinsmann and had lots of quotes, anonymous quotes from players on the team. And Klinsmann very much suspected that Donovan was one of those players criticizing him. He felt hard done. He felt like this guy, it was the big mutiny, correct? He felt like of all the guys, this guy should have had his back.
That's fair.
I can't tell you who told me all this stuff.
No, but I mean that's fair.
Maybe I can at some point because I think this is ancient history.
Without explaining who it was Donovan one of the guys? I know Bocanegra was one, wasn't he?
Certainly Bocanegra was one. Yep, for sure. Some people say Kyle Beckerman was one, but I don't think so, honestly. But I do believe one of them was Donovan.
Wasn't he on the mutiny or was he on the fusion? I think he was wasn't he on the mutiny?
We're talking about the mutiny that was happening before the game in Costa Rica. And yes, I do think that Landon Donovan was one of the people quoted in that anonymous article. And I think he found out about it in whatever way. And he never, ever got over it.
Did that I forgot now? Did that come before or after the hiatus?
I believe it was just before the hiatus. So
yeah, I mean that'd probably be one reason why Klinsmann could lean into the whole like, oh, he took a year off. I mean, that gives him the excuse if it was true.
I'm thinking about it now. No. Because he didn't take a year off. That's the crazy thing that makes the math not work out. Because he was there for the Gold Cup before the World Cup, and that was a World Cup qualifier against Costa Rica.
That would have been 09? No, 2014. So that would have been what, 13? Like the winter of 13, the snow cup?
Yeah. And we all know what he did to Bocanegra.
Yeah.
Stripped him of the captainship in front of the whole team without telling him prior. And never ever called him back to the team again. So, there you go. Listen, Germans, I don't mean to.
No senses of humor and long memories.
Long memories. Good way to put it, Brett. Long memories. Yes. Germans have long memories. Some of them do, some of us don't. But yeah. Anyhow, that's that story.
Best teams in the world, to make an impact. And unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we all hoped. But he also was a bit unlucky in a couple of games there where he could have scored, but it didn't go in the ball and stuff like that. And there was nothing personal with Landon at all. I really admired him and whatever he's done and it still is. But these are decisions that managers have to make.
He left Landon.
Now, because they were friends, okay? They were friends, but after the Costa Rica thing, with Brian Strauss's article, they were no longer friends anymore. But he just couldn't leave him home. He had to call him up. He's a legend. So, but he didn't for the World Cup. That's where he drew his line and stabbed his sword into Landon Donovan's heart. All right. Julian says, do you guys think Pochettino doesn't call Nene Brown because of birthright citizenship? No. Also, Andrew Rick did well for Philly on the weekend. I don't know who Andrew Rick is. I'm glad he's doing good. I didn't watch that game.
The young goalkeeper?
Yeah, the young guy that we talked about last time. Didn't watch that game. I watched LAFC versus LAG. I watched a couple other games, but not that one. Nene Brown, I don't think it has anything to do with birthright citizenship. I just don't think he's done his homework. I don't think that he's made a real effort. I don't think he's done his homework. And that's all I can say. All I know is, based on what I know from my contacts, which aren't 100%, is that Nene Brown's not been reached out to by Poch or U.S. Soccer in an earlier interview 5 months ago.
So do you think it's possible that we're going to get to the Jude window here in a bit?
Yeah.
But do you think it's possible that Poch is looking at all these potential dual nats in the recruitment of players and using not reaching out to them as an excuse of simply not overly caring about putting in the effort as we're about a year away from the World Cup and only a handful of windows left? Do you think he's really looking at wanting to put the effort in at that point? Because after the World Cup, I imagine he's probably looking at other options that are coming knocking. So
he's gone.
I mean, does he care if Brown doesn't actually pick the U.S. or if he sticks with Germany in the end?
All I know is that Brown would help him in a World Cup.
I think so too.
He could play left midfielder, left winger, left back. Guy can play up and down the whole left side. I know most people only mention left back and left winger, but he's played left midfield for Frankfurt as well this season.
Have they done any form of recruiting that can tell? Because I mean, Nokai Banks, and Damian Downs have all been part of the U.S. youth system at some point.
They're not as German as he is.
So I guess my point
in the sense that Brown's never played for any of our youth teams, where Banks has.
Yeah,
Downs has played for our youth teams. It's easier. We got the connections already. They've already been made through the youth system in U.S. Soccer. This is an outreach that would take and require some extra effort. And I feel like we're blowing this right now. Although he may say, well, he's not going to make the German team for the World Cup, so why are we so worried? No, he's not going to make the German team for the World Cup. I agree. He's not. But
what I don't understand here is if that is true in the sense that he's not really looking to do the extra lifting, if you will, to get these dual nats to come over, shouldn't somebody in U.S. Soccer be reaching out to him? I mean,
could be
somebody, one of the heads,
assistant
JT
coach.
Assistant coaches are all his coaches. We don't have an assistant coach that's part of the system.
And the worst thing is there are no Americans on the assistant coaching staff.
Exactly,
None.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I mean, at that point, if Poch isn't going to do it, shouldn't like JT or who's the other guy? JT and what's the other dude? Matt Crocker. Shouldn't one of them like be reaching out?
How about Gooch?
Yeah, why shouldn't Gooch be doing something? I mean, if the coach isn't going to put forth the effort, shouldn't somebody talk to him?
Somebody should.
Know.
It should be an assistant coach at least. Although, if you're Nathaniel Brown, you might find that offensive, which I don't think he does, but I'm sure you take the call. But
yeah.
By the way, John, to say that he's not a left back, I mean, he played significant time at left back. He was very good at it. They played in several different positions at Frankfurt this season. He's been great at left back, left wing back, and left midfielder. Been good at all of them. He's a starter. He's a 90-minute guy for the most part, outside of a few games recently. So, admit DW and Morales banned after the mutiny. Who's DW, Brett? Do you know?
I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together on that one too.
I knew Morales is. I don't think Morales is one of the guys that was quoted in the mutiny from the. I can't.
Danny Williams. Danny Williams.
I can't say how I know that.
Was Danny Williams wasn't part of the mutiny though. He wouldn't be, he was brought in under Berhalter.
Yeah, no, there were those guys.
No. Who's the guy that was on QPR for a long time there? At the very
Danny Williams.
Was that Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got brought in with Berhalter, had the back and forth, and hadn't been called in ever since, right?
No, and Klinsmann loved German players, German Americans.
Who am I thinking of then? They got into the kerfuffle with Berhalter.
Oh, you're thinking about the Preston North End guy that now plays for Houston. That was fuck. He's now in Houston. Fuck. Just forgot his name. Danny starts with a D.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's why I was thinking that then. But I can't think of his name.
So you bring up
Dwayne Holmes. Dwayne Holmes. Thank you.
Dwayne Holmes. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was mixing up players. Okay. Never mind. Scratch that.
I mean, he's not the only player that got in a kerfuffle with him, but the guy who played in England and went to Holland, was it? The model guy? The model?
He didn't go to Holland. He went to
Belgium.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Odasawi,
yeah. He also got in a kerfuffle in practice.
I'm not playing center back or whatever.
Yeah, don't play me in center back. I'm not a center back. Well, you're going to play center back today. No, I'm not. Okay,
well, 7, 8 figures a year, not playing soccer. Suck my dick.
Well, he wasn't at the time. He was a big.
He had gumption though, Derek. He knew what he was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get his. He's going to get his.
He's got nothing now.
Except for his modeling and his
fucking waste of talent.
His clothing line that's making him more money than he was as a professional player.
What a waste of talent, though.
Oh, sure. I don't disagree with you on that.
That guy ruined himself. That's a crazy thing to do. Luxia says, I take 2 weeks off work and I become useless for a week, much less 8 months at the highest level of sports. Not getting better is getting worse.
It's talking about Donovan. But I mean, he came back though. That's the thing though. He may not have performed with Galaxy that last season, but he came back and performed during the Gold Cup with the national team though. So,
and keep in mind during all the training sessions, I've talked to a couple players, numerous actually, maybe 3, who were there, who all said he was the best player in practice. And in the kill drills where they run him till they puke, he was the last one standing. So fuck that whole thing. Nope, not true.
Okay.
I can't.
Here's Klinsmann on Pulisic real quick.
What is the when can I start saying who told me those things, Brett?
I'd probably check in with them before you start dropping names.
What year can I start telling people who told me?
I mean, if those people are still fighting for contact.
No, they're not. They're not.
Probably safe to do then, but
I don't know. I still have their emails. I don't know if they work anymore. Derek, you're not a reliable source. Fuck off. If I were not a reliable source, we wouldn't be have our 99.9% record here. So I have never told a lie on this show. A fucking I've told other lies about other weird shit. but not about soccer.
There's the difference between lying and being wrong, though.
I've lied about Brett giving reach arounds, but that's a joke.
True.
All right. All right.
I learned so much from Christian Pulisic in terms of he wanted to go to the prom so badly when we were in camp for a game, and I didn't understand how can you bring that up. For me as a European, I never heard about that, and then my wife told me, no, this is a big deal in America. You better let him go. So I let him go, and I said, just be back for training in the morning, and so light training because we had the game in the evening, and I threw him into the game. It took 5 minutes. He scored a goal.
This is why I love Jurgen Klinsmann. This is the part of Jurgen Klinsmann that I do love. I do love, and I think somebody else was quoting, said, he's the most American German I've ever met. He is so open to learning about America and American things and things we do. So comparing Klinsmann to Pochettino is really kind of a joke. Klinsmann has lived in California for almost 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
He's practically American. His wife is American. His kid is an American. He's almost an American. So you cannot compare the two.
Well, that's I replied to somebody on our last show saying that, with Klinsmann, you almost have to put an asterisk next to him because, yes, he is a foreign coach, but he's about as Americanized as you can get because he was familiar with our playing pool, our culture as a team, although he tried to change the culture, of course. Find a new identity, if you will.
Briefly.
So
until he was like, yeah, that's not going to work. Also, Jurgen Klinsmann hired multiple throughout his whole tenure, had multiple Americans and former U.S. men's national team players on his staff, including Tony Meola and Tab Ramos. And there were other guys there too that I can't remember, but multiple. So he knew he needed to make sure that he needed people on his staff that understood what it was to be American and history. He brought Tab and Meola in, especially, and then even Casey Keller later. Because he wanted those players to understand our history, our battle, our fight, and that we had a chip. We had a chip on our shoulder. We still need to do something more. I don't care what club you're playing on, Clint Dempsey. I don't care if you're playing. I don't care if everybody in fucking Fulham thinks you're the bee's knees. You got something to prove here with the U.S. men's national team. You never need to do that with Clint Dempsey. He already knew that. Clint Dempsey is the guy that walks around with a fucking chip on his shoulder, regardless of how much success he has, because it's never enough for him. Our guys in Europe right now are walking around like they already fucking are the bee's knees because of what they've done in Europe and the teams they play for and how good those teams are, those club teams are, and the status of those club teams. We don't need that shit. We need you to still think you need to prove something when you come and play for us. We don't need you to think just because you're a star at Juventus or you're a star here or wherever. I don't mean to point out a player specifically. You still need to bring the juice, the full juice, when you come to the U.S. men's national team. You cannot pretend you've made it yet until you bring those performances from your club to our fucking team, the U.S. men's national team. Then you can strut around after you've accomplished something. Until then, shut the fuck up. Yes.
Paul Tenoria says, despite reports on being told U.S. men's national team will not be playing Argentina in Doha in November. Opponents to be determined, but current plan is for games to be at home. A lot of teams want to come to the U.S. to play World Cup prep. He said, thanks, Paul. That earlier report seemed suspect. My response was, do we read that as U.S. men's national team not playing Argentina in November or U.S. men's national team not playing Argentina and Qatar?
Qatar.
So, I mean, Argentina, it could still be true that Argentina is going to be the opponent. It's just maybe the location was the fib.
I think Argentina looked at it like, well, this was our opportunity to go play in the United States prior to the World Cup. That's what we want to do. We want to prep our players for playing in that time zone, in that particular region. Why are we going to play in Qatar? I think the Argentinians were the ones that say, no, we're not doing that.
There was a report out of Argentina, though, that said that we're playing them in Qatar, though.
But I think the Argentinian team leaders, and probably the Americans too.
Don't you want to play here? Come on.
Let's prepare for the World Cup. That means playing in the United States and getting used to that region, that background, not somewhere fucking way off the map, in 6 time zones difference. So, and I'm going to go pee real quick, Brett. So I'm going to let you start this one, and I'll be right back.
Oh, crapples. Okay.
All right, right back.
Come back.
Gotta pee. I got to urinate.
Horrible timing, Derek. He's going to do a whole video. I don't have another topic to really jump into. That's not going to be a long topic. It's just terrible timing. You need to control your bladder better. But you know what? What do you expect with old people, right? All right. I'm going to go ahead and get this prepped and ready. We're going to watch an Alexi Laws video, and he's going to talk about the kits. I should have had this primed and ready whenever we were talking about the women's national team comment, because I did bring up the kits at that point. So this would have been good, but I wasn't sure exactly where it was in my swath of tabs over here. So let's see here. Brett, can you cut off his dumb kiss at the end? It makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, but I mean, Anthony, that's how I know when to immediately jump into the outro. If he doesn't do the kiss at the end, man, I can't do the outro on time. We just sit there looking awkward for a second. So maybe Derek can do something else besides a kiss, like a quick jerk off or something. I don't know.
Jesus, I just got here and now I'm supposed to jerk off. Good God.
All right, here's Alexi Lawless talking about the kids. I was telling him, like, I should have had this primed and ready after the women's national team comment, because we talked about the kids. So that would have made more sense. But oh well, we're here.
Yeah.
It's called the Heartbeat Kit, and I made a little joke about the fact that this team, as we know, has shown very little to no heartbeat.
That's not really a joke.
So if it's the kit,
okay, Lexi, that's not really a joke when you say that.
It's a statement, right?
Like, the players are going to take that seriously. That's not a joke. That's not like me saying a player kicked Berhalter's dog, or there are golden shower things that take place in the shower between coaches and players. Those are jokes. That's not like me saying Brett does reach arounds in public parks to people who donate to us, or he gets pegged at night for 2 hours. Those are jokes. This is not a joke. If you, Alexi Lawless, say that, that is not a joke to anybody reading it. And I didn't even read it as a joke. Did you read that as a joke when he put that up?
I thought it was just a statement.
I thought it was a statement, not a joke.
Later for $2 says Wando was the original Jack Sparrow. Ain't shocked he choked. Jack Sparrow, in the sense that, like Jesus Ferreira, that they score a lot of goals in MLS, I'm assuming. Not necessarily that Wando's scoring bucket loads against island nations for the U.S., because he didn't get a lot of opportunities.
True. Facts.
or what's under it, there is some sort of heartbeat starting this summer when it comes to the Gold Cup. I don't like these blue ones. I'll be honest. They don't do anything for me.
Yep.
They don't say America. They don't lean into America. I think that the pinstripe is going to get lost. I think that the blue is going to look black.
That's a great point. But frankly,
Yeah.
the pinstripe is going to get lost on TV.
I get it.
Obviously, that's so funny.
I agree with that. I think the stripe should have been lighter, and the shirt should have been lighter. It shouldn't be that dark blue. It should be like a real blue.
I will say this much. I don't dislike the concept that when they're playing, it's going to quote unquote appear black. One of my favorite U.S. kits was the 08 away, which was the
That's
slate
true.
gray.
Yeah.
That by far one of my favorite kits. That was one of the cleanest kits they have had out.
I definitely think the light blue will stand out, but not the red. The red's going to get buried from TV.
So the blue, the pinstripe blue, is what
It'll
color you think the
show.
jersey should be. Is what you're saying, right?
Well, I'm just saying if you're going to do this, the red should be a little brighter too. They're going to get the red's going to get buried on TV.
It's gonna get muted out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to see it. You'll see the light blue, but not the red.
I don't even know if you're gonna see light blue on TV unless they zoom in on a player.
True.
Oh well, not really worrying about that.
It's not my problem.
And I think that they are just another in a long line of forgettable jerseys. But ultimately, the association with success usually enhances. And so maybe at the end of this summer, they do really, really well, and everybody's feeling good about 2026, and they're associated with this color and this pattern. Maybe I'll feel differently. It is,
but they'll feel something about this pattern, which will ultimately get replaced with the World Cup kit.
Yeah. I think the more telling thing from this statement is the original starting statement, which is, I made a joke. I started a joke. No, that what you said was serious, Alexi, and completely a fine comment, actually. Like, where is the heartbeat of the team? Why is that a joke? That's not a joke. That's not a joke at all. We're all looking for the heartbeat of this team right now. Where is it? Where is it? Who are the guys that are going to come in with a chip on their shoulder? That when he said it originally on a post in Twitter, I didn't think it was a joke. I thought he was serious, and I agreed with it. I want to see some fucking heartbeat. I want to see some chip. I want to see some guts, some blood. All right.
Well, it's one of those things again, though. Like, you know, there were a lot of people out there say like, "Oh, they're not. There's no heart. There's no heart with this team. They're not going out and playing with heart." He said there's a lack of a heartbeat, and then all of a sudden there's a kid that they've dubbed the heartbeat. I mean,
it's kind of like if you say something, you criticize something, and then you kind of want to back off, so you just say it's a joke. You know? No.
Just live up to that. That was a perfectly fine comment to make.
Perfectly.
I think the whole thing, the statement, what I think the kids are meh to me. They're not my favorite. They're not the worst by any means. I think one thing, and I agree with a lot of the people that were having issues with what U.S. soccer did with this, is that the name of it is just pandering.
Yes,
it's pandering towards a fan base that is getting kind of disenfranchised.
Who also panders? MLS.
Yeah. So you're saying Garber's behind this, huh?
No, I'm just saying.
Motherfucker.
I am saying this is a problem generally with marketing with major corporations and organizations in the country in general. They try to think they're saying, here, look, we're fondling and rubbing and massaging your testicles, when they should just let our testicles be. We don't want them massaged, not from you. All right? If I'm going to have my testicles massaged, it'll be from a beautiful lady. I don't want them massaged from MLS or US Soccer. I just want you to be fucking authentic. How fucking hard is that? Just be real with me. Don't treat me like a fucking 14-year-old who wants his balls rubbed by everybody. He doesn't really have much of he just doesn't decipher between one ball rubber and the other. He's not interested. I'm not 14. I don't need my balls rubbed by everybody who's willing to rub them. I want authenticity. So when you show up and you're rubbing my balls, I know it's because you want to rub my balls. Not because you're doing it because you want something back from me, but because you enjoy rubbing balls. You enjoy it, and you want to see me pleasured. This is not what this is. They have no interest in us being pleasured at all. They're rubbing our balls, as you said, inauthentically and cheaply, because they think this is a marketing strategy. Like we won't all see through this and say, you fucking ball rubbers are just doing this to make us think that you care about what we think.
Yeah. When they had the
we know you don't care what we think.
When they had that pre-announced video, hey, tomorrow we're going to make this major announcement. I had made the comment on that show saying, hey, it'd be really cool. I mean, it'd be kind of cool, you know, what is it, like 30 years later, that we do the homage to the denim jersey. Not necessarily have the denim jersey, maybe clean it up a little bit, but at least do an homage to it. and they didn't. Although the white jersey does have the star on it, so maybe that is kind of their attempt at an homage to it. But this was the chance, because they're certainly not going to do an homage for the actual World Cup itself. They're gonna throw out 2 relatively clean kits, an all white, and then something with some design of the blue or red or whatever.
And again,
this was the opportunity. This year would have been the opportunity to do the homage.
And the whole heartbeats thing is so Gaylord Perry. Like, we're so past that at this point. Don't tickle us with your stupid. Am I supposed to get verklempt about that? Is that what I'm supposed to get, Brett? I'm supposed to get all verklempt and saddened and emotional and overwhelmed with emotion because it's about the heartbeat. Oh God, it's the heartbeat. He's so right. The heartbeat of the fans and the heartbeat of the players. Oh my God, I'm so emotional. I mean, what? How stupid do you think we are? You cannot conjure ridiculous shit into our hearts. Just be authentic with us. Give us the facts. Be more fucking German. Just give us the fucking facts. Here's the new jersey. Here's what it looks like. Do you like it? We think we like it. We hope you like it too. Buy it. That's it. Don't give us the heartbeat crap. Don't build a narrative around the fucking shirt. It's all fucking ridiculous. It's pathetic is what it is. And this is what marketing is in the United States now. It's all about that. It's all about ball massages or getting you to think you want one when you don't want one. Just leave people alone with the emotionality of it and the narrative emotion that you're pushing. Just throw it in the trash. Just give us the fucking shirt and say, hey, we really like the way these look. We hope you do too. That's it. That's all I want from U.S. soccer. I do not want to be fucking emotionally manipulated or in any way. And anybody that notices with their language about the heartbeat and all this, that's all trying to build a narrative that they want you to like. And that really is. I can't imagine there's a single person on the planet that saw the shirt and saw the heartbeat theme that went along with it and went, oh yeah, man, I totally feel it. My heart is beating. Oh shit, my dick's getting hard. Nobody did that. Nobody fucking did that. So stop doing it, U.S. Soccer. MLS, stop telling us who the rivalries are in the fucking league. Stop it. Just let it happen organically. Give us a shirt, U.S. Soccer, and say, here's the shirt we like. We hope you like it too. That's it. End of story. We're not going to tell you a story about the heartbeat and how fucking titillated your shaft is or should be about a shirt. Stop it. Stop it with the marketing. A 5-year-old wouldn't get an erection with your marketing. And they get them all the time. Just naturally. In the morning and while they sleep. But not reading your marketing. And what is this music you're playing? The fuck is that?
I didn't want it to be too distracting, but I did like the little background. I'm sitting there going through the media assets going, let's see, do I pick dance pop? That doesn't fit. Daydreaming? Maybe. Feeding the ducks.
That would work good. That
Maybe.
would work. I can't imagine feeding ducks with this, but yeah.
Into space?
Ooh, that bass.
That could have been good.
Might have been.
That's
too
not,
happy.
That's not good with what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, too happy.
Little rock?
No, that sucks. Immediately, that sucks.
Some night driving?
Too happy.
Floppy? That's
We need something more ominous. No.
This is what was playing in the background.
Yeah, that's bad.
What was daydreaming?
It's too serene for what I was doing. Too serene.
Yeah, we need. Yeah, none of that really works, unfortunately.
All right. Needs to be darker, as Fumar just said, actually, at the exact time I said it. Crazy. All right. Yeah, what else we got? Let's go through the team, or do you want to do Yanks Abroad?
You just crazy jumping around?
Well, dude.
What is your show? Is this your show? Here.
Do not panic. Do not panic. Cap them now. Cap them now.
Sorry, Ron.
Transfer news, transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
Lamar Reynolds says Derek's music makes my penis soft. Well, it's not really meant to make it hard. And if you're looking for music to make it hard, I don't think there is any music out there that actually makes penises hard, Lamar. So I don't know what to tell you.
There's the brown note that makes rectums release.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But frankly, I think my music's really good. And if you don't, I don't care. I believe in me. All right, USA US-17 midfielder Jack Mize, who is confirmed to be leaving Dortmund, is being linked to Bundesliga team Kaiserslautern. They have produced players like Kevin Trapp, Will Orban, and Robin Koch. Okay, fine. It's all great. He's an 08. He's a U17. No point in ever bringing up Trapp, Orban, or Koch in this point because there's no guarantee that Mize will ever become a Koch.
I don't know. Unless Kaiserslautern has come out and said, hey, we really want you for the first team. Why leave the Dortmund academy and youth system at this point?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. That's fine. Good for you, Jack Mize. I wish you the best. As unreal as it sounds, Miljevic of U.S. men's national team fame reportedly has River Plate interest. I mean, Kelvin, he's got a contract with Huracan. It is not going to be over anytime soon. So I'm glad they have interest.
Here's the translation. River has put out a call for Metco because they're interested. So
okay.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yep.
I do the Google Translate because I don't speak anything besides English.
They still sit fourth in the table in Argentina, and he's one of the best players on the team. So there you go. Yep. Gutierrez really drawing interest from Serie A club Roma. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say Roma to be the destination that I would choose, but I think he could hang in. I think he could hang in Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
So whether there's truth behind this, I don't know. We'll see.
Who posted it?
U.S. men's national team only. Let's see. It came from.
Is he the one?
RomaPress.net.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock in that.
Well, even if there's truth behind it, whether or not they'll meet Chicago's wants for transfer is the big question, really.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I still, regardless of whatever, I don't.
He's at Chicago until 2028. Chicago has all the cards.
They do.
Making me the bid.
Will they accept a $12 million deal? That's the question. Because that's the going price. So.
Oh, no, I'm saying Chicago would accept it, yes.
You think?
Would Roma make it, though, is a bigger question.
I don't think this is real.
It's half of our transfer news, Derek, is just that.
I don't think it's real. I just watched Roma play this weekend. I don't think they need Brian Gutierrez. I think they got other needs.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're keeping tabs on him. I mean, I'm not sure why they'd be really looking for him in that situation, but who knows? Regardless, this could just all be agent talk. Maybe rephrase that. A little bit more clarity in there. It's all agent talk, right?
Don't make yeah. All right. Anyhow, yeah. I got you.
That is what it is. 7 solid season. We'll see what happens, but it's not going to be during the summer, unfortunately.
I almost made some very racist sounds. Anyhow.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they were better than that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here.
It's currently in a standstill. McKennie's renewal with Juventus. There's no final approval with the owners. There's no green light.
Oh, what the hell happened there? Close up, extreme close up.
We will understand in the next few weeks if McKennie will renew with Juve. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll resign.
Yeah, he'll resign. But then again, I didn't watch a match. I saw he left with an injury, and people were talking about it.
It's not that bad.
You don't think it is?
Nope.
So people were making it sound like it looked like it was a bad injury, but no words come out about it. I guess.
I watched it. I didn't think it looked that bad, but who knows these days? Who knows? I thought it was minor.
Bob's your uncle says injury is minor.
There you go, minor.
I'll take it. And you know how Wes is, right?
Yeah.
Even if he broke all the bones in his bodies, he'd be back ready 3 weeks from now.
Right, he's Wolverine.
The guy has super healing powers. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be fine. It didn't look that bad to me. Hey, go wherever they want you.
Yeah, Real Sociedad is interested in Gio Reyna.
Fucking Fox Sports, dude. They fucked this shit up with their post that he wasn't.
Fox Sports do?
No, they said he wasn't included on the 60-man list. Oh my God. Didn't mention anything about the fact that he plays for Dortmund, who are playing in the Club World Cup.
I didn't before loop there because I was going to say he wasn't on the 60-man. I didn't realize that you're alluding to the fact that Poch even flat out said that the Nations League was the only opportunity they're going to have to evaluate Gio this summer because of the Club World Cup. So
What?
I never expected Gio. I mean, outside the fact that Dortmund's like, go away, Gio, maybe at that point, Poch could have called him in, but I wasn't surprised that he was left off.
No, I wasn't surprised. I still would have put him on there just in case, but
yeah,
it's 60 dudes. Just put him on there in case they let him loose early. But then he's got to go to his new club and acclimate and all that shit.
And now that's what I was literally about to say. If he makes a move before the Club World Cup,
you got to find a place to live.
Yeah, I would have as a player be like, I really want to go to the national team and do this, but I also gotta, start making my stake.
His wife has got to settle in. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I've not watched Sociedad play. Are they would this be a solid fit, Derek? Have you watched much of them?
I mean, it's more a solid fit league wise.
Sure.
So
I agree with that, yes.
I think it's fine. I mean, just go somewhere and make your mark, right? At this point. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Pulisic not very happy with the situation at Milan. Pulisic set to put pen to paper on 1-year extension with Milan. However, it's possible that he might pause to reflect on things, seeking guarantees about the clubs. Okay. All right. Ambitions. I think he's earned the right to do something like this and say, well, I want to know what you're going to do. Like, who you going to bring in? Because we got some shit we need to shore up. Especially in the back four.
Especially the back.
Yeah. So I get it. I seriously, this sounds very unpolitic to me. Very not Pulisic, frankly. So I'm doubting the legitimacy of this.
How many more years does he have at Milan though on his contract?
Well, he just put pen to paper on a 1-year extension. So, I think he has another 1 year.
Said to be extended, reported new deal taking him through 2029. Yeah, it's currently on a 4-year through 2027 with an option for an additional year.
So I don't buy much into the drama here. This is somebody trying to get some clicks.
If they've got him through 2027, I mean, okay, he's concerned about what their ambitions are.
Is
so
he?
If they don't do anything next season, then
is he
that
really?
point more, I'm saying if he does.
All right. This does not sound like Pulisic to me.
And on top of that, everything coming out of the league and everything coming out of Pulisic's mouth has been like, this has been a resurgence.
Best team.
Best move ever for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
I'm calling a slight bullshit on Tuto Sport. I'm sorry.
I think what they're mixing up here is he's not questioning their ambition. He's saying, hey, I know a guy in England who just won an FA Cup. Maybe you can bring him here.
Yeah, I don't even think that. I think this is all bullshit. I don't think there's any delay. I just think this is a made-up story, frankly. Yeah. And I have a pretty good radar for made-up stories, by the way. Mm-hmm. 2 Bundesliga season concludes. Damian Downs, Kern promoted after a 4-0 win over Kaiserslautern, which, yes, Downs did assist. Castaneda and Paderborn come up short. Gomez and Braunschweig lose to Nuremberg and go into relegation, which we've been telling you was going to happen. Julian Green and Max Dietz secure survival, which, yeah, I mean, if they didn't, it'd be horrible. All right. Yeah. All good.
This all takes me to this post by Edgar. So the saying that Damian Downs is likely to make the U.S. men's national team Gold Cup roster. Unsure how true it is. This info could be, but Downs once again has taken down all of his German youth national team photos on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't think that means anything. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're going to go over the roster.
It's all the same thing with Brown. Yeah. You said we're going to go over the roster. What roster is that?
The 60-man roster that was just announced.
60-man roster.
And I'm not doing Yanks Abroad.
Okay. Yeah, I got a clip leading into that, Derek. I put a lot of effort into this clip. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Okay, I'm ready. I got the lube out.
I'll throw the 60-man prelim out, and then I would throw the kit out later.
Are they doing 60 again?
I think they're kind of required to.
Did the other teams do 60?
I don't know.
I don't think so. All right.
Or do you just don't want to go look it up and think so?
I don't think they do for the Gold Cup. They do for Nations League. Why did the other teams do it? Why are we doing 60?
I think the other teams didn't do it. I mean, as much as the other teams can do it.
Well, what the fuck? Why are we doing 60? I guess we got to give everybody a ball rub. Got to give everyone a ball rub.
I'm pretty positive when they did the Nations League and Nations League one last time, and in Gold Cup or whatever. I think it's basically any CONCACAF sanctioned tournament has to have a 60-man preliminary.
But I haven't seen any of the other 60s. That's why I asked you if the other one's done it.
Edgar posted Canada's.
And you're like, I don't think so. Well, and then I'm like, well, why would we?
Well, I said, I don't know. Did you mean to go back to the file of the play?
No.
I actually went onto YouTube and I had to type in fart in their noise or their.
I heard the fart.
It's just like download. I'm sitting there listening to them over and over again. Which one would sound better? You know, so I'm listening to 6 different fart noises over and over.
Yeah, no, that was good. That's really good. All right, so what's our 60?
Okay, so
can we see this?
Well, I was going to say we have 2 things we can go over. So Edgar was the one who posted a thread before this was released that had everybody besides Paxton name, but then he jumped in immediately and said, "Oh, I left off Paxton."
So Edgar beat Doug McIntyre.
Yeah. Before this was officially posted, there was a thread on Twitter.
Good for him.
So
we love Edgar here. We do.
So I'm not going to pull this up.
Not everybody in our chat loves Edgar, but we do like Edgar.
I'm not going to pull this up because it's going to get blurry when I expand upon it. Justin Moran did a good job as far as breaking it down. So you can pull this up here. Open up a new tab. Can you read that?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, I can zoom in more if we need to scroll around.
So these are the people that were called up. So let's go through them, I guess, one group at a time. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Stefan, Cochin, Turner, Freeze, Schulte, Chris Brady. Stefan, Turner, Schulte. And by the way, I'm saying this as who Poch will pick.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, did you want to do a formation creator? No, we're just gonna pick them.
Yep.
Okay. So who'd you say?
Stefan,
Turner, Schulte.
Turner, Schulte.
I mean, that's who I'm picking too.
We're trying to guess what Poch is going to do. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
All right. Center back, yes. Richards, yes. McKenzie, yes. CCV, yes. Ream. And then it gets tricky.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be Zwatsky or Dietz or Blackman or Campbell. I'm going to guess they ended Trusty, would be my guess.
Hang on. Red was red. Red is injured.
So it's not Zimmerman.
Still injured. So
yeah.
Between Trusty and Robinson.
I'm going with Trusty. Trusty started the last 3 games for Celtic because CCV's got another big toe injury. But he's not injured now, apparently. Apparently the big toe's not that injured, but it does irritate him. And now he's fine. So I think maybe we take those, maybe we take 6, but I think 5 is enough.
2, 4. Yeah, I mean, you still have the likes of Scally who can always pinch back. But now that we have Dest on the 60, man, that's gonna throw a question mark, quite frankly.
Scally's another center back, basically.
Yeah.
So on the right backs, it's Dest and Scally. End of story.
There's no need for an inclusion of another person.
Why the fuck is Shaq Moore on this?
They need to hit 60.
It's ridiculous. You could put Reynolds on there.
That's a great point. Could have.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they have Ledesma as a back.
That was an midfielder. That was an improvement. Yep. But you're only taking 2. And same thing with the left back. You're taking Jedi, should be taking Nathaniel Brown, but I think it's still a toss-up between Wiley and Tolkien. I really do. And Arson. I'll be honest.
I think it's going to be a mix between Tolkien and Arson, quite frankly.
So Jedi and Arson?
Or Tolkien.
I mean, no one's been hotter in MLS at left back than Arson.
I agree. At left back especially, yeah.
So this might be the one thing where Poch goes with Arson.
Could be.
I wouldn't be surprised. Defensive mid. We
got to take 2 here. Well, we might take 3.
Might take 3. And then if that's the case, it's going to be Tessman, Adams, and Johnny.
Yeah, let's take all this list right here. We're taking how many we usually take? Like 6? 6 in the midfield? Usually?
Yeah, 7 sometimes.
6 to 7. So Johnny, Adams, I think are locks.
Yep.
Tessman could be a lock.
Should be a lock for him. For Poch, I think he likes Tessman a lot. I do like that Anelli kid, though. Really do.
So we got to remember this is D mid and center mid because they've got the attacking mid separate on this list. So we're only looking at like 4 from the defensive mid and center mid defensive mid list.
Moose is not
maybe 5.
Moose is not really a center midfielder for Poch, so he's more of a winger. So you could move that over to winger. I know, but you should if you could. I'm going with Johnny, Adams, and Tessman. I think they're all going to make the team.
So then we're looking at what, like two in the CMDM role?
Can we be really fair?
Maybe?
Johnny and Tessman are okay. Johnny can play box to box.
Yeah.
So can Tessman. Adams is the only true destroyer in the group. So calling them all defensive, there should be 3 categories of midfielders because Johnny and Tessman are box to box midfielders.
Or just do defensive midfielder, and that's just Adams in that entire list. Maybe Aiden Morris, I guess, but he's also kind of more box to box than Adams is. But it's beside the point. So Johnny, Adams, Tessman.
And then for CM, Moose too weird.
Recover.
I just inhaled my spit.
Yep. I mean, I would like to see the likes of Paxton get the call up here.
I would too.
I thought Quinn Sullivan was more of a winger for Philly. Hasn't he been more like a winger for Philly?
Let me unmute. All right. I think he's a box to box guy.
He's box. Okay.
Yeah. So, but on this list of the guys that were called up, I don't think it's Timothy Tillman. I think Sebastian Berhalter might get a sniff. I don't think De La Torre will, and I don't think Quinn Sullivan will. So it's Berhalter, Busio, McGlynn, Paxton, and Musa. Well, Moose is in, regardless. Yeah.
We're not really keeping track of numbers here either, by the way.
No. Moose is definitely in. I'd love to see Paxton. I'm just trying to figure out Poch's view of this. And I do think Berhalter makes this. I really do.
So what we did. Oh, there's my calculator.
I think Berhalter.
3, 5, 2, and 2. So we're currently at 12 players right now.
Berhalter.
We did Johnny, Adams, and Tessman, so I'm going to add 3, so we're at 15. So we have 11 players left.
Berhalter, Busio, Musa.
I'm going to flat out. I know Poch has got his heart on for Musa and all, and I like Musa a lot, but I just have not been impressed with him with the national team of late.
He just played 90.
That's fair, but I mean,
Milan.
I mean, how can you leave off a guy that's like Paxton, who's basically led his team to the success that they found?
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think the guys that are definitely not going to be there are De La Torre, Quinn Sullivan, and Timothy Tillman. Timothy Tillman not going to make it. His brother will, but he won't. And so it just becomes sort of a crap.
Let's skip the center mid, defensive mid. Let's go to the attacking mid and striker role, and let's just see how many players we have left over.
Well, Pulisic's on the team. You can write that one down.
Correct. Yes.
Malik Tillman's on this team. You can write that.
You absolutely have to. He's been on fucking fire.
He was just nominated and won the Player of the Year in Holland.
Mm-hmm.
Tillman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Haji Wright, yes. Brendan Aronson, probably. Luna, yes. Zendejas, yes. The rest of them, no.
Let's hold this down there still. Cade Clark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miljevic has an outside shot.
Yeah, I mean, the fire that he brings, I mean, you can gauge his abilities however you want.
He's a leader.
But yeah, he's a fucking ball of fire. Mm-hmm. So Poch might call him in just for that fact, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on Brendan getting the call up. He missed out on Nations League, right?
And he had a pretty mediocre season for the most part for Leeds. I'm sorry, but that's true. I watched every Leeds game. As a center attacking midfielder, provided not enough.
So
Sorry.
I'm biased obviously towards Brian, but I don't think he's going to get called in. I think Pulisic, Tillman, Haji, Luna, Zendejas, and then maybe Miljevic.
Could be. I think it's up for grabs between Miljevic and Aronson.
So let's put that at 6 there.
Yep.
That's 21. That gives us 5 more players. That's counting striker and center midfielder, though. I think we're only taking 2 strikers regardless.
We're at 20. We can take 26.
21. We're 21.
I know, but we can take 26.
Which gives us 5.
Yeah. So Balogun, Sargent, and I do think we're going to take another one.
You think we're going to take 3?
Yep.
That's fair. I guess for that center mid and defensive mid, I mean, we already have the Johnny and Tessman. I mean, we'll go back to that in a sec. So, okay, if Balogun's healthy, what's Balogun's injury right now?
He's fine.
Okay. He's marked injured, and I know that we had talked about him getting injured again, so I wasn't sure what the severity is.
It's pretty small. I think he'll be fine. Balogun, Sargent, and it's like, I'd like to see Downs, but I think we're going to get White.
I also would, I would like to just see what Downs can do.
Yeah, me
I
too.
would like to give him his opportunity. We know what White can do, and I think White's a solid striker. Whether or not he's international solid, he still really hasn't been given too big of a chance to really make his stamp. But, yeah, I'm going with the top 3 if we're going to take 3.
I mean, I honestly would like to see Downs. I don't think that's happening. I think we're going Balogun, Sargent. Knowing Poch, we're going White. We can disagree on that. That's fine.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, I could see it happening either way, quite frankly.
I can have my picks. You can have yours.
I mean, it's one of those things, again, like, it made it sound like Downs was going to be given the opportunity for Nations League, but then he had the surgery. That's what it sounded like, at least. Nothing was actually said one way or another, but it's what it kind of sounded like. So I could see it both ways. It could happen either way.
Diet Red Kool-Aid. Hello back to you, brother. The comments. Good to see you.
So that if we take 3 strikers, that leaves 3 in the center mid D mid category here.
How many players we got right now?
24. No, 24. Actually, only lose 2. Sorry, math.
We need 2 more.
Yep.
I think if you're doing that, it's mostly in the midfield. But I would add Brendan Aronson on just for shits and giggles. I think he makes it 2.
Yeah, I said, hey, we have I said 3 originally, but I meant to say 2 because that math's hard, I guess. But I said, yeah, that's 2 going to be in that center mid and D mid category.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree. It's in the midfield. You know,
I'm adding Brendan Aronson.
I say no to Brendan. I will disagree with you on that.
Well, who the hell else you taking in the midfield then?
Well, it's either going to be Berhalter, it's going to be McGlynn, it's going to be Musa, or it's going to be Paxton. One of those 4.
I don't think so. I think it's Brendan, and we can disagree on that.
We will.
I think.
And if Brendan gets included, somebody else is going to get removed because I don't see how, quite frankly. I think that if I had to pick, I'm going with Busio, and I'm going with Berhalter. I would like to see Paxton.
We're going all the way back to the beginning on that.
We never picked the center mid or D mid roles.
Okay, Musa for sure. Musa's going. Hell or high water.
I mean, I do think Poch has the heart on for him, so I think he will be included regardless. Yeah.
So now, if he's included, what are we up to? Without all the others.
2 minus 1 is 1.
We got 1 more pick?
1 more pick. I'm not taking Brendan.
Well, I am. So you can pick your other one.
No, it's I'm going if I had to pick.
I'm just telling you what Poach
personally,
is doing.
Personally, again, I would like to take Paxton. I would say it's either going to be Busio or he's going to give Berhalter the opportunity.
Yeah, I think Busio.
I think Brennan's dropped off, quite frankly.
Listen, I've said it numerous times on this show. For a guy playing CAM for the best team in the championship to have that few goals and that few assists in a season, not great. We only got Dark Brennan for about 15 games this season.
Pretty much all at the beginning of the season, too.
Yep.
B-Mar agrees with you that he thinks Poch picks Brandon.
I think he's going to pick Brendan, though. I really do. It has nothing to do with my own feelings about who I frankly really like to see Berhalter play on this team or be at least on the roster.
I'm perplexed as far as why even bring Brennan in. Poch has seen him enough. He didn't call him in last window. I don't know.
But that was with 23. This is with 26. I think he fell just outside the window last time. I think he makes
why is Nations League 23 but Gold Cup is 26?
I have no idea, but I would really like to see Paxton.
Number of games, I guess. That's part
I would really like to see Paxton Aronson. And I hope he makes the team.
Yeah. Again, like you, Musa, but you're off.
Did you see McGlynn's goal this weekend?
No, I did not.
Fucking rocket, dude, from 30 yards out. That guy's got a fucking left foot like nobody's business. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
So here's just a quick rundown of people who were left off.
Where's Klinsman?
Not on Justin's list, apparently. But you bring in Celentano, which I like Celentano, don't get me wrong. But bring in Calendar?
No.
He's underperforming, and he's not even part of that team.
I mean, I'd love to bring Banks. I think he's ahead of Swatsky and Henri Chase has not been recruited, so. And then Reynolds and Cannon. Reynolds hasn't really done much for Westerlo this season, except been a good, solid player for them. You guys need to stop pretending, says Colin, that Mihailovic can't play international soccer. You guys made up that he had heavy touches, and I proved you wrong. No. I don't know if you're talking to us, Colin, but we just said he went to Holland was a fucking pussy. He didn't take the bull by the horns.
The heavy touches is in reference to the Olympics.
Oh, well. Okay. Yeah, he had some heavy touches there for sure. But he had his chance in Holland. They played him a lot. And he chose to play or to be a role player instead of a star. He didn't. He decided he wasn't a star on that team. And that's when you go to a team like that in Holland, you need to have the feeling that you're going to be a star. Like Malik Tillman believes he's a star of PSV. Mihailovic never had that. So we're not even talking about his skills at that point. I'm not talking about Mihailovic's skills. I'm talking about his mentality. All right. Maloney's got no shot. Sands is injured. Atencio. Then you got McKenny's gone. Kermashi. Really? I don't even put him on this list. None of those guys are on the list below even Kermashi.
People are saying that's ski at the end of it from the
yes,
comment section.
Kermashki, if you want to be really fucking, specific about it. But yeah, Reyna, all gone. Paredes is injured again. Kolyosha was hot garbage all season for Burnley. Cowell can't even get playing time in Mexico. Taylor Boots, a complete mental wreck. Jesus Ferreira, really? He's a bench player for Seattle. Cole Camber's injured. Pepe's injured. DK finally scored a goal coming back from injury. Pivak has not had the effects that he's need to have at Rems. Jordan Morris injured, I think, right? I think
so. It says, yeah.
And McGuire just got some minutes for Orlando and got an assist. So, Yeah.
Here's Edgar's starting 11.
All right.
You got Freeze, Dest,
No.
McKinney.
No. Freeze. Immediately wrong.
I don't see it happening, but this is his. This is his pick.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Edgar doesn't have faith in Turner, understandably so.
No, that's fine.
And he just rates Freeze higher than Stefan and Schulte at this point.
And that's fine too, because this is his lineup, which I totally respect. People who post these and say this is my pick, not my projection, but
This
my
will be
pick.
our starting 11, yeah.
Yep, I love it. Thank you, Edgar.
Johnny Adams, Pulisic, Tillman, Luna, and Balogun.
I wouldn't. I'd be completely fine with that. Completely fine. Yep. All right, for the 276 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe. You can like on X too if you're watching on X. Just like the whatever that thing is on the bottom. Give it a thumbs up. And then here you need to subscribe or share it with your grandma because she loves this show and she's missing out. Yeah, like, subscribe. That's all we're asking.
USMNT national team report. Here's his prediction. I'm just worried about the starting lineup. I don't care about the. Oh, he has Yao though.
Very similar.
Pulisic, Musa, then Luna is in the center. Adams, Johnny, Robinson, McKenzie, Richards, Dest, and Turner. As much as we said that I wouldn't mind seeing Edgar's, I wouldn't be surprised to see this. Mind you,
I wouldn't either.
I could see Luna and Pulisic being flip-flopped because I think Poch is going to continue pushing the Pulisic at the 10 role.
You are
whether it pans
brilliant
out or
there,
not.
yes.
But
Brett, that's very astute. Yes, that's probably what would happen.
And
Very.
Collins, here's his Gold Cup roster. Stefan, Turner, Schulte. That's what we said. Fossey, Wiley, Jones, Tolkien. No Dest. We know we know you're not a Jedi guy. So Richards, Miles Robinson, Ream, Scally. We didn't even talk about Ream as did we talk about Ream as one of the center back options? Okay, I didn't recall. I think we went through the center backs for the most part, except for the final two, the Trusty and Miles Robinson picks. Yeah, okay. Let's see: Adams, Tessman, Berhalter, Morris, Mihailovic, and Clark. And
I love when Colin goes, and this show sucks. I mean, really, how much more nicer could we be to a dude?
Pulisic, Luna, Wright, White, Vasquez, and Yao.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, it's not realistic, so that's the only thing I would comment here. This is not what's going to happen. I mean, we got to go by reality.
And again, he even emphasized, because he knew you'd say that, this is my roster.
He said it was his roster. Give him credit for saying this is my roster. Yes. Yeah. And I like that people are doing that now. I think we were the people on, like, going back that would say, is this your roster or is this just what you really think is going to happen? And I like that people are putting my on it now.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. That way we can say, yeah, I mean, that's your dream roster, but that's not what's going to happen. And sorry, that's not what's going to happen. But fair, you get your opportunity to put out what you want. That's what you want. Great. It's not what's going to happen, but it is what it is. All right. I think we're done.
Former USA U20 winger Dante Seeley is on Trinidad and Tobago's preliminary roster.
He's been on their team already.
Oh, has he?
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you a glimpse, here's TNT's roster. I don't think that's 60. It could be.
Look at all those domestic fucking players. Holy shit. They're doomed if that's all they got.
It's almost 60. It's about 60, maybe 60.
Yeah, a lot of Jamaica, Trinidad, Russia, Honduras, Canada. Yeah,
it's fine. It's a Portland's 2 team right there.
Yes, it's going to be pretty weak. It's a weak team. It's a weak team.
Got Levi Garcia, who's playing in Russia. Mother Russia.
Mm-hmm. You got a player in Canada. You got players in USA, Trinidad. Yeah, it's pretty MEH. All right.
Hey, so to make the joke that this Alvin might be playing with Gio, but then I realized, oh, never mind. Wrong Sociedad.
Georgia. All right. What else we got? We got nothing.
That's all, folks. That's all.
We're done. Yeah. 2 hours, 27 minutes in. We're going to call it a night. We had a great time. Hope you did too. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandmother. As for your stepsister, can you please just have her stop emailing me? Because I think that the two of you need to work out the issues that you have. Okay? I think you need to have that one-on-one. That's what I told her. So no more emails from your stepsister. She needs to work it out with you. Whatever issues you're having now need to be worked out between the two of you. Until the next time, we will be back on Thursday. Have a great week. Hey, summer's starting, baby. We got the Indy 500 coming up. Nobody cares about that, but I think it's amazing. Shut up, Brett. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, we love you.
That hurt.
I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you?